Hey, Joanna, as late as yesterday, Dr. Jack Kevorkian was actually showing some signs of improvement, and they were making plans to go to rehab and perhaps on a book tour this summer or later this year. But then things took a turn for the worse late last night, and he passed away early this morning. It was around 2:30 this morning when Dr. Jack Kevorkian would take his last breath. His longtime attorney and friend, Mayor Morgenroth, says it appears a sudden pulmonary thrombosis ended the life of a controversial man many called a hero.
When he passed away, the nurses and the doctors were really very, very supportive. And in fact, the nurses were stroking his forehead, and he had no pain, which was good. And they searched on the internet and got music from Bach, which was his favorite composer and favorite music, and were playing it in his room. And so Bach was going on from 10:30 on until after he passed away.
The 83-year-old Kevorkian had been hospitalized with kidney and liver issues as well as respiratory problems, but he had been improving. Kevorkian rose to prominence in the 90s, helping people with assisted suicide. He eventually spent 8 years in prison on murder charges.
He stood for people's rights. He stood for a person's right to choose also when they terminate their life based upon their remedial pain and suffering and being terminal.
In recent years, Kevorkian led a quiet life, lecturing and painting and living in a small apartment in Royal Oak, far from the limelight that made him a household name.
Well, he certainly was a trailblazer. He certainly advocated, but it was more than just a trailblazer. He was a sacrificer, because remember, he never charged for any of his services. He bought his clothes at Salvation Army.
Dr. Jack Kevorkian leaves behind a niece who lives here in the Metro Detroit area, as well as a sister who is flying in from Europe. Right now they're working on funeral arrangements, and right now there are no plans for any sort of public service or ceremony, but that could change. We're live in Birmingham. Michael Rosenfield, Channel 7 Action News.